that gives you the facts and makes you laugh. It's Clapback Thursdays. And this week, I have a special guest joining me. Let's get right into it. First, let's start with Eddie Hearn, who lost his mind after I called out the facts last week that all his fighters either lost or got injured.
It's all smoke and mirrors. When Oscar says I haven't built anything in the or haven't got any fighters, I mean, if I want to reel off Shakur Stevenson, Jaron Ennis, Bam Rodriguez, I mean, that's 3 of my US fighters right there. Canelo left him a long time ago. Ryan Garcia, God knows how that's going to play out. Jaime Munguia has left Oscar Delahoya, gone to Top Rank. He's put in Barboza in with Ramirez, who cares? And Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez, he lost us. We tonked him around with Bivol years ago. Tell me one fighter that he's a star that they have. And don't say Virgil Ortiz.
Eddie, am I just imagining that 14 of your main event fighters all lost this year? 14 fighters! It happened again last week with Sandy Ryan, and the week before with AJ, and the week before when Shakur got hurt, and the week before when Berlanga got destroyed. Here's a look at all 14 fighters.
No.
You must be the biggest pathological liar on the planet to try and continue convincing us that you're good at your job. It is a fucking train wreck. The Matchroom curse is a real thing. And you always bring up the fact that Canelo hates me. Yes, we fucking hate each other. It doesn't change the fact that I promoted him for 10 years and built him from scratch in the US. Canelo was with you for 8 fights and dumped you because you're incompetent and incapable of doing your job. Your record proves that. These are the facts. Oh, and one more thing. Eddie, you said I don't have stars? Well, who's this? Fuck you. Remember, folks, you're never a hater when you only speak the facts.
Okay, there is Oscar De La Hoya with his clap back. Okay, hold on a second. Let me see. Let me get this. Okay, there we go. All right. So there is Oscar De La Hoya, and he comes with his clap back Thursday counterpunch. And actually it's Friday. Okay, so yes, Eddie Hearn has taken a lot of L's being his fighters have. And what I don't get about Oscar De La Hoya is, yes, his fighters lost, but does that mean the promoters lose? No, they don't. That means the promoters have a strenuous job, but it's Oscar saying that, hey, you're incompetent of being a promoter. Well, obviously those guys are signed with Eddie Hearn for a reason, and you were with, he said, Canelo was with you and you're incompetent. No, Canelo got in there with a live dog, just like a lot of those fighters. And it shows a lot about Oscar De La Hoya, because Oscar De La Hoya's mindset is, my fighters win, that makes me a better promoter. It doesn't mean that, because we have what you call the Riyadh season takeover. And that's with Turki Al-Sheikh. Turki Al-Sheikh is planning these fights. Turki Al-Sheikh is making these fights. Okay, so him talking about, Eddie is incompetent as a, promoter because his fighters are getting beat. That doesn't mean that he's a bad promoter. That means that the fights that are being put on are very, very competitive. Now, nobody saw that AJ destruction from Daniel Dubois. But at the same time, that doesn't mean Anthony Joshua will leave Eddie Hearn. Okay? See, Canelo didn't leave Oscar De La Hoya because he lost the fight. That's not the point, Oscar. The point is that if he left you based on something that you didn't do as a promoter. See, as long as you do your job as a promoter, you can't get mad at the promoter for you losing. It doesn't work that way. It's not the same concept as having a trainer and a fighter, because what happens if a fighter loses, most of the time they blame the trainer, and then the trainer gets axed and he gets fired. This is different being a promoter, because a promoter, all you got to do is your job. How can you blame the promoter when everybody already blames the trainer? You see what I mean? So with Oscar De La Hoya and Eddie Hearn, it just shows you that Oscar is doing a very good job at clout chasing. And I think now, because Eddie has taken that L, he has more, or he's using more energy on doing what? Clapbacking at Oscar, or people that are trying to give him a hard time because, his star fighters are losing. But no, that does not mean that Eddie Hearn is a bad promoter or he's ruining careers. No. What it does mean, though, and it does convey that maybe Oscar De La Hoya's idea, again, of fighters winning versus being a good promoter, if that means that you're probably better at matchmaking, because you wait out a lot of fights that could have happened and should happen when they should happen and they don't happen, because you drag them along and you wait till the fighter is not, or the fight itself between two fighters are not competitive no more because one was older than the other. Okay, i.e. Golovkin. And even Golovkin beat Canelo the first time. And if Golovkin would have got the nod, does that mean that Oscar was a bad promoter? No, it doesn't. But in Oscar's mind, maybe it does, because he intentionally dragged that fight on and made sure it took as long as possible for Canelo to get in there with Gennady Golovkin. Okay, that's what that is about. That is what that's about. Okay? Make no mistake about it. So as far as Ryan Garcia goes, Ryan's still not fighting. Okay, and then Ryan's getting sued. So yes, he has some issues. Yes, Ryan is a star. Don't get it twisted. He is a star. So what Eddie Hearn is saying, well, hey, you don't have an active star, and he does not. And that's the facts. But you guys tell me what you think of Oscar De La Hoya clapping back at Eddie Hearn about not having a superstar in the sport of boxing. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!